Hello, 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 and welcome. You are watching and listening to the Alert Factor. I'm Nancy Alert, and today, the Alert Factor, we talk about everything. We talk about real estate, we talk about luxury lifestyle, we talk about health, wellness, we talk about everything here because if you're going to do great things in your job, in your employment, you have to be healthy. So we talk about the health. And if you're going to do great things in your job, we're talking about mindset. So we talk about all that. We talk to entrepreneurs. We talk to people that's ready to get everything done. Because, I'm Nancy Alert, getting it done, right? So the Alert Factor, we're here every Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do you want to know? Anything you want to know real estate wise, or how to start a business, who you need to talk to about certain industry, just inbox me. Whatever questions you have that you would like to have me answer, reach out to me. I'm at the Nancy Alert on Instagram or the Alert Factor on Facebook. So reach out to me and send me your questions, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. As I said at the beginning of the year, our first show, to 2024, this is your year. If you have not, you've thought every year, this is my year, this is my year, but you have not done anything, remember, movement is not progress, right? You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about what it is you want in order to get it. We're going to help you. We're going to talk to my guest today, Miss New Yorker, and she is phenomenon. She's a veteran. She's an author. She's a filmmaker. She's a speaker. Hello, hello, hello. And I'm going to let
Hello.
you pronounce your last name. I didn't want to mess it up.
Yes, and Castaneda. Niurka Castaneda.
Castanella. Okay, New Yorker Castanella. Tell us, thank you so much for agreeing to be on our show, and welcome, welcome, welcome to the Alert Factor. So here are, first, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you. Who you are, where you're from.
Well, first and all, thank you for having me in your amazing show. I'm Niurka, and a veteran, and
Thank you for your service.
thank you, and Cuban, so that's why you hear my accent. And more than all, I'm the founder of Amor Umbrella.
Mhm.
You asked me what Amor Umbrella is.
Yeah. So you're the founder of Amore Umbrella. So tell us a little bit about Amore Umbrella.
Amor Umbrella it's a media company. It's a creative media company. So under the umbrella, pun intended, um, we work on a lot of different projects. We have a TV show, we have magazine, podcasts, books, educational. Because I love storytelling. I love to tell a story, and I love helping the veteran community, the family of veterans. And I found that by telling the story of myself and all the veterans how they had transitioned successfully and after the military, it helps so many people. Finding those resources that we have a huge issue where we don't know where to turn and can't wait until the last minute.
Mhm.
Um, and then what happened? We don't know. We are all
Right.
black.
So
So I believe
a little
prevention.
bit more about that because I have a lot of military friends, and for most of them, they understand. And because apparently there is a transition class or meetings that you go to when you're transitioning out of me, but some people pay attention, some don't, some show up, some don't. So then when they leave the military, because once you pass that point, it's hard now to figure out where do I go? What do I do? And so you created a more umbrella to help veterans understand and transition from military life to civilian life, and so that we never hear or those words homeless veteran or unemployed veterans, right? So what does a more umbrella, what do you do how do you help the veteran community?
By putting a spotlight on them and on the issues that they face. I struggle myself as a veteran, and I know a lot of other veterans that struggle with different issues: financial, housing, um, health issues, suicide, right? So I, I bring all the veterans, I bring civilians, and kind of talk about all these issues and the solutions.
Right, right,
Because you
right.
know
Because
what?
that's the important part, right?
That's the important part.
It's
Uh,
one thing to talk about the issue, but another thing is what are some solutions so we can help the veterans. So, what are some of the things that you are doing to help veterans move forward into the next chapter of their lives?
well, one of the special programming that we did, we have Umbrellas of Hope. That's our TV show and film production company. And on there, we did it. We just finished a mini series about suicide prevention and awareness, where we brought veterans that had struggled, that had overcome
Mhm.
that momentary stroke, um, and we cannot give a solution like how to talk to people that are that desperate,
Mhm.
where to go, where to talk. uh, we know the VA, but there's other a lot of other many resources that you can do to prevent that for yourself
Mhm.
and for anybody else that brothers and sisters. The military it trains us. We are warriors, right?
Yeah.
From day one we train to be warriors,
Right.
but we don't get that transition training too well.
Switch you off from warrior
Yeah,
to
you go from warrior to
citizen of the
civilian,
United States, right? Or
and it was
citizen
like, what is
wherever.
civilian? Most of us young were, 18, 17, 19.
Right.
I young when I was 19. How do I go to be a civilian?
Right.
You know,
Right,
uh,
because your adult life started in the military, and so you're like, this is how, and then all of a sudden, okay, I need to transition to something different. So, do you also help them with finding out what their benefits are and when to switch? Because I know a lot of veterans don't switch like their life insurance and things like that the military give them, and then they lose it because you have a specific time frame to do these things. So are these the type of things that you're helping them with?
yes, we talk about all the different issues, and I do it a mini series now. I'm doing a film as
Hmm.
well. Um, so that way I bring the experts. It's not just me, it's the
Right.
experts, the veterans,
Hmm.
that talk about that, even entrepreneurship. I'm a big fan of entrepreneurship because that's my way of transition out of the military. And I think that's key. Whatever you do, you have to find a new passion,
Right.
right? And so we talk about that as well because that's a possibility for a lot of veterans. We have the skills already,
Mhm.
but you want to continue living a life of service. There's so many multiple ways that can become your new passion.
Mhm.
uh,
And so when you decided, okay, I'm leaving the military now, I'm retiring from the military, what is my next step? Did you automatically thought I'm going to be an entrepreneur, or I'm going to go get a job in corporate America? What was your thought when you were leaving the military?
well, I started was going to get a job. I started like, okay, I'm getting a job, I'm going to apply, going back to the government, just do all this. But it's not so easy to find a job uh, right away, right? You have to have a plan. You have to apply thousands of jobs just to get one.
Right.
So what I was waiting, I like, well, I have my GI Bill and I didn't have a chance to use it in the military. I'm going to
Mhm.
go do that.
All right.
So I went back to school and kind of used my a lot of the skills I got from the military because I did logistics all my life,
Mhm.
and I went to get a education on that.
Mhm.
And now that's how I found my passion because one of those class projects that I had in supply
Mhm.
chain,
Mhm.
I had to do I had to do a product. And like, why I'm going to just waste my time and just doing a class project? I'm going to do it for real. I'm
Mhm.
going to take a risk on me.
So
And
your class project turned into your life project.
yeah, like doing all the research. What I'm going to waste all that research?
Right. That
Of
was
course,
smart.
everything went wrong because you plan, but life has a mind on his own. But that was good. That I love that everything went wrong,
Mhm.
because every time it went wrong, I had to reassess and think and dig a little deeper, and that's how Amor Umbrella has keep growing and turned into a TV show, podcast, magazine, and so many other things, because I found that what I really wanted to do was help other veterans, was helping my sisters and brothers from service. And yeah, it keep growing. I think there's so many ways that we can do that. There's so many amazing stories that I get to tell,
Right.
get to talk to all these people. So yeah.
So now we have a more umbrella, and then we have things, different branches under the umbrella. So, how do we move from military to the more umbrella where we're helping veterans? And then I am going to become an author. I'm going to write some books. Tell me about the books that you've written.
Well, I got one of the books here,
Hmm.
and this was actually one of the key books. It's
Does that
called
say
Venture.
Victor? Hmm.
It's called Venture into the Everglades.
Hmm.
Um, I look for inspiration in life, right? I went on a fishing trip. That was what inspired this book. I went with a lot of other veterans in
Hmm.
a fishing trip in the Everglades,
Hmm.
and it was so amazing, the feeling of calm on the water, the animals,
In the Everglades?
then the Everglades. Like, I didn't even got to see one crocodile, but I was looking for it. Um, but fishing, I don't do fishing. I fished one because I had to, but
Hmm.
it was just the being in that moment, being surrounded by all the veterans, having fun. Everybody was a little grumpy in the beginning. By the time we left that day, we were all smart. I went with Fishing with American Finest, a great
Oh,
organization here
wow.
in Everglades. And when I left, I just went home and I started writing. I wrote the whole book in one day. Of course, I had to do a lot of proofreading after that, but I brought the story out of my mind, and
So
that
just
was the
being
beginning.
there on the water that day with the people that you were with inspired you to write this book.
And then I turned it into
And how long did it take you?
well, I wrote it one day, and then I had to do a lot of
No.
proofreading before I published it, like
How
almost
many
2 years,
pages?
because it was about putting out. But then I turned it into a episode for my TV show,
Mm.
uh, and I found different ways to tell the story, because what I found was key. I think that's one of the key things that we all need: time to breathe,
Yeah.
right? We breathe
Time to
enough.
breathe, time to recharge, time to really think and be one with ourselves. Because we have to do that. We have to be in that calm, in that moment where we're reflecting and renewing. Because we go, 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 right? We
Yeah.
go, go, go. We do everything. We multitasking, but we do have to take time to be in that moment.
Yes, and that is like, there's so many different ways to do that, and that's what I kind of want to highlight. There's always a way. Everybody has different. We all adrenaline junkies. But that's why you
Mhm.
join in the military in the first place, you know. Um, but you can go fishing. You can go racing.
Mhm.
You can go jump on an airplane and a parachute.
Mhm.
You can read. You can write. There's so many different ways. You can paint. Uh,
Mhm.
and that's how it become a book. I'm actually writing the second book now on the series that's going to be about ikebana, nirvana. So using flower
Mhm.
as a way to relax, flower arrangement, the Japanese
Yeah.
way with
Yeah.
Nefertiti.
Yeah, the little bonsai tree. You
You
trim
know,
them, and that's supposed to
a-
and push the sand, and that's supposed to get
it's
you in.
beautiful and it's stress relief. And don't think it's only for girls, because it's something that the samurais they used to do as the battle.
Right.
And
Because
you
you
don't.
after doing all that, you out there, you killing, you doing all that you're doing, right? You do need to bring your mind your to a centered place where you have some comments, because we as Americans, I think Americans more so than any other country, we live very stressful lives and
Mhm.
very hurry up, rush lives. We don't take a lot of time to sit down and truly smell the roses, right?
Mhm.
We very seldom do we really sit down and smell the roses. And then we wonder why we have so many health issues, right?
Yeah.
Because we have all these health issues because we're not treating our body right. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not drinking enough water. We're not meditating. We're not calming ourselves. We're not silencing the noise that we hear all the time. And so, is that what this series is going to be about?
Yes, it's kind of highlighting. It's about talking about the experience, but
Mm-hmm.
also highlighting all the different ways that you can find solace.
Mm.
Because you can find it. You know yourself, and you know what attracts you. Um,
Mm.
so
So,
I,
like, just
we're gonna
think,
be writing a lot more.
sitting in silence. Some people are afraid of silence, right?
Hmm.
Because they think that they have to fill up every second with words. They have to constantly be speaking. So, just being silent for, I don't know, a minute, just sitting, breathing, because we don't breathe correctly anyway. We do this little shallow little breathing. We have to breathe, right? And just doing a few breathing exercises can help you calm yourself. It can help switch that whole mindset, put you in a whole different mood, right? So I'm happy that you're doing this series. So is it going to be a book series, or is it going to be a television series?
Well, I like to dip my feet in everything. I love to. So I'm probably going to start with a book, and then it's going to go. I did have an interview with her about it, and
Mm.
maybe future movie. I'm up for it because I think it's beautiful. I think uh, it's an amazing art
Mm-hmm.
and also a sustainable art because
Mm-hmm.
we all know the traditional flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big fan of sustainability because supply chain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when your flowers start dying, what do?
Mm.
You throw in the trash? No, now you can turn it into a
No.
beautiful ikebana arrangement because
Oh,
that's
really?
what it's, you know.
Because look, I'm struggling with my money tree that I have here. I'm like, I'm moving it around my condo because I'm like, what's going on? Is it getting too much light? Not enough light? Why are the leaves brown? I'm talking to it. I'm putting vitamins in it. I'm watering it every once a week. Why are these leaves brown?
But but that's the thing. There's beauty on that. It's just life. Like we all transition in life. There's different ways in transition in life, and you just have to find the beauty in that transition.
Okay. So tell us, what do you do to get you in that space of renewal, of calm, of being one, and where you can truly hear the universe or whatever speak to you? What do you do to relieve your stress and to be in a calm space?
I do things. I create. I'm a creator. I'm a heart.
Mm.
Um, so I find inspiration. I try new things. I
Mhm.
let myself explore new mediums, new ways to tell a story, uh, creating products and services, something that I can help. But I always do it with intention, right?
Mm.
It's always under the umbrella. It's always another extension or finding a way to share and
Mm.
help. It
Right.
might be just sharing a meme and making people smile. Because you smile at least once a day, you got one more day.
Yeah. Is that right? Smile once a day and you add a day to your life. Come on now. I'm smiling all day long. So I'm adding all these
Yes.
days. And remember, because we're adding all these days to our lives, we want to add healthy days, right?
Yeah.
We want to be able to walk and talk. So when we're adding these days, do some walking so you can add some healthy days to your life. All right. So what else would you say? Tell someone if they're like, oh, I am so stressed. I don't have time. Because people always say, I don't have time to do anything. I don't have time to breathe. I used to say, I don't have time to read the signs on the streets on my way home, driving home. Right? We all have time. Right? Because when you see you sat down and you were able to watch 2, 3, 4 hours of TV, you have time. Right?
Well, think about this. You have to go to work and you have to sit on traffic, because how much time we sit on traffic, right? How much time? I used to drive my kids to school. It took me almost 6 hours. A Starbucks become my office because it was so much time driving.
Right.
Starbucks is my office. I have offices all over the world. You know, but while you sitting in that car, why you don't turn on the radio? Why you don't listen to some music? Why you don't listen to a program that help you, that educate you, that breathing?
That's what I do. I don't listen to the radio, and I used to listen to talk radio, but some talk radios are so toxic because there's either they're too far right, too far left. Everybody, is in their what they believe, and it's just too much. So what I do now is I either listen to daily audio Bible, so the Bible in a year, I've listened to it every day, right? Or I listen to some motivational speaker. I listen to Denzel. I listen to Arnold because I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's story is like, it just tells everybody in the world that you can be whatever or whoever you want to be if I can do this, right? I just said this is what I wanted to do and I set out every day. These are the kind of things that I want going through my head while I'm sitting in traffic, right? A lot of motivational stuff. So who would you say is your go-to motivational person?
Well, I have many motivational speakers. I'm a fan of Forbes. I'm a fan of Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
I love stories. I love real life stories of people that had kind of overcome obstacles.
Right. Because those make you feel like I can do this. And that's what we need in our lives. Is like, don't people out here trying to recreate the wheel, right? Trying to remake it. No, they say success leaves clues. Just listen to those. Like I love Anthony Robbins and I love Les Brown. And for me, I love listening to Forbes Riley because she gets me all inspired.
Yeah, I love her stuff.
Makes me want to go do stuff. But so what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about you being a filmmaker and everything else.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Time. It has a different meaning in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It goes backwards, forwards, it stops. St. Croix is rooted in history. So much of it still remains untouched.
I remember running on these streets as a kid. This shop was right down there. It opened the same year I was born. This is where the original Cruzan hook was born. It's the symbol of these islands. And I wanted to have my hands in that very same history. I want to be able to pass it down to my family while still putting a new spin on it.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, we have an amazing culture that developed over time from all over the world.
St. John feels so untouched. Being underwater is like another world. There's no worries, there's no stress. I can just escape. This is my happy place. My passion for scuba diving came at just being fascinated with the water and wanting to be a mermaid. And this is the closest thing I can get to achieving mermaid status. Canadians just love being outdoorsy. We live for adventure, so we love anything hiking, being on the water, diving, snorkeling, and St. John has it all.
It's like some spirit is protecting the island and keeping them raw. The Makujumbi watches over the island. From up there, they keep the evil spirits away. The nightlife in St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. There's always something going on. Everyone comes together to dance and catch a vibe. We're always celebrating. We celebrate freedom, culture, the food, the smell, the music. It's always a celebration. The people here are probably the most priceless thing because they keep the culture going. There's so many different influences on these islands. Food from all kind of countries coming together in new dishes. All of us came from somewhere, but all of we call this home. The VI is a new melting pot. This is where the past and the future comes together.
Welcome back.
We're back, and you're watching and listening to the Alert Factor and my guest today, Niraka. So when we left off, we were talking about all that you do. What I'd like to know is, how did you move from, starting Amore Umbrella, leaving retiring from the military, becoming an author, and then a filmmaker? Tell me about that. What kind of films do you do?
Well, like I say, once I transitioned out of the military, I went back to school. I started Amore Umbrella, and I found inspiration on these umbrellas, right? They're not regular umbrellas. They're heart-shaped umbrellas. And I'm very much into symbols. And for me, you symbolize shelter, love. But, and that's why I have the heart and the umbrellas, because when I put it together, it's about hope. Mm-hmm. And what better way to share hope, smiles, and love with a word that tells stories. And once I started on this road on telling stories with my TV and my podcast, I decided to go back to school and get all the technicalities out of the way and learning how to tell better stories, because film is the combination of art and business. You put it together and you can move worlds. And that's what I'm trying to do. I started with documentaries, but I do intend to keep growing and going for bigger films later.
Okay, and you're also a speaker. So
yes.
What are some of the topics that you like to speak on?
I talk about my own experience. I talk about how people had the power of being so much once they got that spark, and like you had to find that spark. So I use myself as a reference because I know what I went through. But we all are creative beings. We all have talents. We have skills, and a skill is something that you can learn. Most of the time, I didn't know anything of what I was doing before I started. I just learned how to, and I found people that could help me learn those skills.
Mhm.
So, but the
So,
key thing,
so you speak on your experiences as a woman, a veteran,
mhm,
leaving, retiring from the military, transitioning into civilian life, and helping other veterans to transition as well. And by doing so, you've created your business and you have different umbrellas, pun intended, under your umbrella
yeah,
that that helps, like being an author. Where do you help veterans or others become an author, be able to write a book? Do you help others in the film industry, or is this just what you're doing for you?
no, I'm sharing my experience with everybody, but I
Mhm,
also telling you where to go
mhm,
to get better skills and to
mhm,
keep growing. Because you have to, the first thing that you have to do, everybody, is find that spark that inspire you, that spark of creativity. Because we, unfortunately, we are told to stop being creative when we're children. Like that's something that children do. But no, that's something that we are able to do. We just have to allow ourselves to do it.
It's like, believe, like I was on a panel earlier today, and we're speaking about knowing your value proposition, which is knowing who you are and
Mhm.
truly believing in who you are, and not letting anybody tell you, oh, you're thinking that you want to be a filmmaker, a writer, an author. You can't do that. Or what makes you think you can do that? No, 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 no. I can do pretty much whatever I want to do as long as I put the work in. Because I could meditate and say I'm going to manifest as much as I want. However, you still have to do some steps, right? Because it's,
Yes.
say, faith without works is dead, is you get nothing, right? You have to do some work. And I
Right. So you have to inform the idea. I actually wrote a book about it, that from idea to implementation. We have thousands of ideas a day, right? But how you implement those ideas? And there's multiple ways that you can do it. You can create product or service around, or you can talk about, or you can write about it.
Mm,
The key is to implement
right.
that idea and find the one that really spark you to keep going where it gets tough, because it will get tough.
It was that
Nothing
tough. And
comes
I think
without challenge.
the word of the day, which really is my word of the year almost, it's implementation. Because we do a lot of training and we take a lot of educational stuff. And I always say, education without implementation is just entertainment. It's
Yeah,
entertainment. You have to implement at some point in time. You have to say, okay, I have gotten all this education. Now let me put something into action. Let me implement something so I can move forward towards that goal that I'm trying to reach, right? And I love the fact that you're like, okay, you left the military, and what you did, you implemented by taking advantage of what was already yours, the GI Bill.
right. Because otherwise it will go to waste. And why? I paid for that. I
You
paid,
did. That's
you
what
know,
it is right there. Say that again. You paid for that. You did.
right.
It
I
was
pay with that with my
given to you.
service and with money. And it's something like even my kids are using right now.
Yeah.
Um, because
Oh,
while
so
I run out,
I
when
did
you
not
have
realize.
another tool,
I did not realize. So your the GI Bill goes down.
in some cases.
Uh-huh.
So if your dependents can get it, you have to call VA to see if you're eligible.
Wow. See, that's something I just learned today, and hopefully somebody else just learned that. So now they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that my kids can get this. So now let's go. We're going to college, we're going to trade school, we're doing whatever it'll pay for. Right.
Right. There's multiple ways. You can transfer. You have to find that you're eligible. But yes, my kids are using it right now. I'm using it still. I'm in my fourth degree right now
Wow. Wow.
because I found a passion for knowledge. Because every time I learn something new, it's another thing I can do. It's another thing I can share, and I can put into this big puzzle that I call life.
So, what else are you putting under this umbrella? Because you have books, speaking,
Mhm.
film making. What else are you putting under the umbrella?
A lot of love. Uh, well, I have products. I have some products. I have some educational books and courses, workshops, um, um, clothes and stuff like that.
Oh, so you have merchandise.
Yeah,
Guys.
eventually, I want to have. I want to turn it into another forum for veteran business to be under it as well. But that's in the future.
Okay. So you have merchandise right now, or are you looking to add merchandise?
I have some merchandise.
Okay.
I get very creative every time I have a new idea.
So this is fantastic. You have merchandise. This is lovely. You have the filmmaking. So, if someone brand new, just retired from the military, I was in the military. Joined it at 17, and I was in there for 20, 25 years, and I'm retiring now. What advice would you give to them as they're stepping foot into civilian life from after being in the military for 20, 25 years, which is essentially their entire adult life?
I will tell them to find a new passion. A new passion because the military life is 24 hours, right? And once you get out, you have 24 hours to fill. And you have to deal with your family transitioning as well. And it can be a little bit too much. Right? And it's a great way to kind of reassess and to put all these skills that you learn through your military career, the skills that your family has, and put it then in a little magical cooking pot and see what comes out of that. What sparked your attention? What are you passionate about? Do you like to run? A lot of them run. I have to find that passion again. But
That was a passion, but not.
but maybe you
Changes,
can
right?
organize a running movement about something that you're passionate about. There's multiple ways to implement the idea, but find something that help you. I know a business, they have a shoe company. They sell shoes. So what they do, they create a running marathon every year, and then they donate some of those shoes to a third country. Or
Wow.
so there's multiple ways that you can do it, where we can still keep serving, because that's a big thing in the military, right? We love to serve, we love to help others. So turn your passion into something that matters. Find that new passion and allow yourself to explore your ideas, because that's the first thing. You have to allow yourself to do it. You have to give yourself permission, even if you're too busy. We get all busy. There's another person that he wrote a book, become a bestseller. You know how he did it? He just wrote 8 minutes a day. We don't have the time. We can find the time if we care about it. We
Right.
find the time to
We
eat fast
find
food.
time for what we care about. We do.
Yeah, we find the time
We
to
find
binge
time to be on
watch.
TikTok. We find time to be on Facebook and IG. So we can find time for the things that is important to us. And one of the things that people think, well, when you leave such a structured environment as the military, right, and then you come out now, it's like moving from being in corporate America to becoming an entrepreneur. There is no one to tell you what to do, right? You're not given a task. You have to now be able to motivate yourself, get yourself to the point where you're doing ABC every day, because now this is your new norm. This is your new norm. There will not be somebody telling you got to wake up at 6 a.m. You got to, eat at 2 noon, 2 p.m. or what have you. You are making these decisions now. So therefore, you have to be able to tell yourself, it's me. And especially like when you're starting as an entrepreneur, there's nobody there telling you, okay, you got to work 8 hours today. You only have 1 hour for lunch and you have to start at 8. And nobody's there to do that. So you have to have that in you in order to do it, in order to be successful at it.
Yeah, you have to find the structure. One thing I do, I love a good challenge. So I will find challenges
Mm.
that like, okay, there's a war here, there's a pitch competition, there's this,
Mm.
and I will put it there as a deadline for me to get things done. And
Mhm.
it's not about the challenge; it's about motivating myself to get the work done. Now I have a deadline.
Mhm.
I meet the deadline, and now I can participate.
Yeah, I'm a deadline person. I need a deadline.
Right? So
I need a
find
deadline. I
ways to
can't just
create that
do.
structure for you.
Yeah.
Um, find a body that can make you accountable.
Mhm.
Um, kids are wonderful at that. They go who held you accountable. So you have a little kid at
But
home
you said
making you
we're
fun.
gonna do this today at 2. Why are we not doing it today at 2? They will make you accountable if you're not
Yes.
doing it
I,
yourself.
I think we use all the tools available to you, and children are wonderful. They will tell you how it is, and they will make you accountable.
Okay.
So
So for those in the military or just leaving the military or anyone else that you're looking to help, do you have like workshops and webinars, seminars that you do to help people? And what does that look like?
yes, I have. So I have some courses that they can take on their own. They're actually accredited with the university, so they can
Mhm.
use that year bill uh, to
Ah,
use it.
oh,
And it's
so these
about,
courses are accredited?
yes, with the university. So it's a college credit that they can take, and it's about the starting the business step by step, almost like a SOP. I just went back and
Right,
did SOP myself,
right.
and then idea implementation is getting done as well and going to be added. But I also do workshops every once in a while of different topics as well.
So you do these group workshops, are they online or in person?
Uh, Both. I put it online, but I also do it in person in my community.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to say, how do I get to you if I wanted to do one of your workshops, find out more about the accredited course online, how do I get to you?
So you can find everything in Amor Umbrella, and everything is under that umbrella, amorumbrella.com, and I can send you the link uh,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a more like the Spanish word,
AMORE or AMOR?
ANOR,
Okay,
umbrella,
amorumbrella.com.
right?
Amorumbrella.com. And if you go there, people can book appointments to chat with you. They can sign up for your classes and things like that.
Yes, and you can always send me an email, Nurka at Amor Umbrella, and I'm always willing to help.
Mhm.
Um, and just ask me, reach out to me on social media.
Okay.
Um, just
And
reach
what
out
kind
me.
of speaking engagements are you looking to get in the near future?
Um, I want to talk to my story. I want to talk about suicide prevention and all the transitioning successful in the military, woman empowerment. Uh, I think we're wonderful. It's our time to believe in ourselves and to do great things the woman way. Um,
So
and
those are the topics you'd like to speak on, suicide prevention, and how is that connected to you, or why is that important to you? That topic.
because the numbers are tremendous. There's almost 22 veterans a day that die. They take their life
By suicide. Wow.
by suicide, and it fluctuates, but that's the pretty much the high number, um, and it's because they got to that point right where everything was just a black wall, and they couldn't find a way out, and just trying to change that by telling you how to where the resources are, who you can call, pick up the phone, call a friend, hotline, and prevent things happening, find solutions to the problems that are overwhelming you in the first place, like financial, housing, um, all these things, all and this lack of community that we used to have in the military. That's a huge thing that we're missing when we get out. So you have to find a way to find that again.
Right.
Remember, you have to breathe.
I mean, so then I would think, would you think the Army would be a place to start where you have these talks, have these conversations? Does the Army have these kind of conversations with veterans when they're about to leave, or even while they're there? Is it something that who would you want to be connected to if you're not already connected to them? Because we don't know who's watching and listening. Who would you want to be connected to or introduced to that will get you to be able to do some seminars and webinars for veterans while they're in the military or as they are leaving, to talk to them about suicide prevention?
I would like to talk to the veterans. I would like to talk to the military when they get out. There's a military transition program, and it's getting better currently, but there's still a need that we still need to bring awareness.
So would you be able to partner with them and say, let's do some classes, some seminars? So as the military are leaving, the veterans are leaving the military, we have this conversation with them regarding how to take care of their mental health.
Yes. Yes, I think there's a way to reach out to them, to the VA hospital, and kind of have more community, more talks with each others, because sometimes we have a special language, right, and our own. So talk to each other and have people listen. So yeah.
And I understand that the military, there's lots of paperwork, red tape, and things like that, right? So if you're not going directly to that transitioning committee and having a conversation with them to see if you can partner up with them so that you are able to have more of an impact, because if you already have this transitional community where people are going through, you're just adding something to that is beneficial, that will help the veterans. How difficult would that be?
How connecting with them? Well, there's some hoops to go through. Everything can be bureaucratic. Sometimes it's just getting all the paperwork out of the way and getting there. And that's why kind of looking at every single medium out there, right? To reach out more people, because I can go speak stages, and that's the goal, right? To speak a stage with thousands of people in there.
Right. Okay, so you can be at a stadium where there's thousands of people. You can also, because veterans are everywhere, you can speak at a corporate meeting, right, where you're talking to people. Because not we're talking now about veterans because you are a veteran. However, there are a number of people that are going through what they're going through as well, and
Right.
to have the same conversation. So you speaking to corporate America at their meetings and things like that. I'm putting it out there because that's what's gonna
Okay.
happen, right? That's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
I'm willing to talk because I think we need to do a lot more um, prevention, a lot more education,
Mhm.
and reach out to these people and stay connected to them to avoid that. We need to bring that down. One person that dies a day is way too many.
Exactly, exactly. And I know that you're going to be able to take a big role in that and help the veterans, and we appreciate all of that. So on the marketing side, because you have a marketing side, what do you do on the marketing side?
And the marketing side, I do a lot of different things. Of course, I take my umbrellas with me because a lot of people remember me just because of the umbrella.
Umbrella.
To bring that awareness. And it's a pro, it symbolizes so many things. Uh, I speak, I promote on my shows, I promote on social medias, I partner up with others, uh, entrepreneurs like you to keep
Mhm.
bringing and amplifying my mission and my goals.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you are doing all these things and wonderful things. I'm so excited for you
Thank
with where you're going, your filmmaking. So, what is the next film you're going to be working on or documentary?
So once I'm done with this film, that's almost done, the social awareness film, I do planning on doing another one about housing,
Mhm.
um, and also, I kind of want traveling and doing touching like almost every single topic
Right.
um, that is out there. But I want to make it different. I want to make it where it become an experience and an educational experience.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And so you were just on the cover. Tell me all about your cover girl experience.
The cover girl experience,
Yes.
it
Oh,
was
it's She Magazine, was it? She Magazine?
she talked yeah, so I'm a veteran columnist for the she talks. I helped write the column for
Mhm.
veterans. I had an amazing interview the other day where I interviewed the first black African American woman helicopter pilot in the
Oh,
military.
for She Talks Magazine.
Right.
And you interviewed the first African American helicopter
Yes.
pilot?
And she's amazing. Like I talked to her for almost an hour, and she has so many great things to say. We talk about how she transitioned, how she went to financial ruin, and she saw she was ready. That's the thing. Like, all right, I'm going, I'm good. Um, she was an officer, and she had all these amazing wins under her belt, but then she lose everything in a financial moment.
Yeah.
And then but she had to get herself, and how she struggled even at that moment, like she had that idea, oh, I cannot do it, I might want to
Mhm.
kill myself.
Right.
She found a way to overcome it. She's actually one of my guest speakers on the movie that and the
Okay.
veteran series that I'm doing.
Well, I'm
uh,
glad we touched on that because we're in February, Black History Month, and you
yes.
interviewed the first African American, yes, pilot. So to wrap all of this up, I thank you for being on the show, The Alert Factor, today. And tell everyone again where they can go to reach you. They want to talk about filmmaking, they want to talk about helping the veterans, being an author, being an entrepreneur. Where do they go to get to you?
They can find me at moreumbrella.com. They can send me email and Niorka at moreumbrella.com. And they can find me on social media. Don't be afraid to reach out. Just reach out. And I'm always willing to help. I can always point you in the right direction, if anything.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. I am Nancy Allard, and you've been watching and listening to The Alert Factor. We're here every Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk real estate, we talk life stories. So see you next time.